Pop, pop, pop. Okay, I guess I'm just gonna start here. Welcome to episode 3 of this whole endeavor called Learn Web3 with Colony. It rhymes and I'm proud of it. Let's see how this is going to go today. There's going to be a lot of coding because I thought it might be a lot of fun to just code away and like see how everything works in practice and in like in an applied kind of world. So we're building a little React app, and um, just a word of caution here. Please bear with me. My React senses are very rusty, so I haven't written React in quite some time, probably over a year. So please bear with me here if there's anything that takes a little longer, just because I don't remember all of the APIs anymore. But I guess we're doing simple stuff, so I guess we get through that at some point. Just a little housekeeping. So I have the GitHub repository open here. You can see this is our main repository. We keep all of the resources for this course. I added part 2, some agenda and some auxiliary files for the part 2 from last time. So you find it there if you're curious. I'll post it here in the chat if I can. Yes. Also, I added a link to past episodes because I uploaded past episodes to YouTube, so you'll be able to, yeah, if you want to just rewatch an episode or you didn't get all of it, or you're just watching this on YouTube, yes, there's other stuff that you can check out. So that you can do. And here are the 2 past episodes, and I'm going to upload all of them a little edited. I basically just remove the introduction where everything is quiet and everything is awkward and boring. So yes, there we can just jump right in. You'll find this here. I also post a link. Why is with the copy and paste today? Okay. So what I'm going to do today, we very quickly create a React app from scratch. I hope I will be up for the task. Let's see. If not, maybe you can help me, or we'll just look at the documentation together. Hey, that sounds fun. Then we will add ethers to our browser website and create a suitable provider so that we can access MetaMask, because this is what it's all about today. And then we look at the MetaMask API. For everyone who doesn't know, MetaMask is a browser plugin that you can install, and it'll handle your a lot of your kind of Ethereum needs. It's a signer. That means you can sign transaction, you can sign messages for certain websites. It kind of holds all your wallet private keys in a safe enough place. So, and it's quite convenient to use. A lot of people use it all around. So if you are creating a dApp, then you definitely want to support MetaMask. But I'm assuming that if you're watching this course, you probably know what it is already. So I'm just gonna skip right to the core here. So let's create an app. So I am going to cheat a tiny bit today. I'm just gonna clone the Colony starter package here, which I made just some time ago, and this will allow for us to have like a tiny build system in place. There's nothing really there. It's just ES built with some commands, and I think ethers is in there, and probably Colony SDK, which we are going to remove because we don't need it today. But there's basically nothing in here, so we just clone this into our repository here, Colony starter git, and we're just going to call it MetaMask unmasked. And because we are already in a Git repository, we just remove the repository contents here. So we have MetaMask unmasked. So, and then let's take a look at the package.json and see what we will need. So first of all, because we are writing TypeScript today, because I don't feel confident writing anything else, we are changing this to tsx because it's going to be a React component file. This is already all that we need to do. This is basically telling ESBuild where to find our index file. And I think that's everything that we need to change here for now. And then we are going to remove Colony SDK because we don't need it here. And then we are going to install a bunch of stuff. So we are going to install, oh, did I close Vim? Never close Vim. npm install React DOM, and we are going to install the types for it as well. We are going to install ethers at the latest version because, I mean, if we're doing this, might as well do it with the latest version. Colony SDK is still based on version 5. Because of other dependencies, basically nothing has caught on yet, but this is a new project. We started from scratch, so might as well do it with the new API already. So this is going to be up to date for some time, and we don't want to use out of date APIs. So yeah. So we have React DOM, ethers. Do we need anything else? Not for now, I don't think. Okay. Everything is installed. Let's. Ugh, I was in the wrong directory. That sucks. Okay. Part 3, and we do the same stuff again. npm remove at colony SDK. And now we look at the stuff. Oh my god, I was still in the wrong directory. I'm sorry about that. Install. And npm remove save at colony SDK. And now let's look at it. Finally. So what do we have? We have React, we have ethers, we have React and React DOM is built. Perfect. Let's look at our index file. This is still from Colony SDK, so we just remove it and create a new index.ts. I'm sorry, I should call it index.tsx. And now we do very quickly run through React stuff. Import React, come on, from React. And we make a very simple app. Return div works. And then we do, oh yeah, forgot about something else. Import create root from React DOM. And then we do root element. We're getting the root element. This is all React stuff. Get element by ID root. Oh, we don't have TypeScript installed. That's why it's plain. That's why we don't have the hints. Let's install it quickly. It's better with TypeScript. It's better with some hints. Oh, there we go. Much better. We just spotted some mistakes here. Okay, we have the root element, and then we say, okay, if there is the root element, because it cannot know, and this is because of TypeScript will yell at us otherwise, we say the root of React is create root, and then root from the root element. So we're mounting React into one of the elements that we have in the index file. I have to check whether the index file is actually what we needed it or what we think it is in this case. Is it not called create root? Oh, I'm sorry, it is React DOM client. Okay, let's quickly look at the index file. Oh yeah, we have a div with the ID of root. So all good. Well, I think this is already everything that we need to see whether it's working. So let's check. npm run serve. This is one of the scripts that invokes ESBuild. It's basically this command. It bundles it and then serves it from the www file, www folder, and you should get it here. Okay. Localhost 8000 says it works. Cool. So from here, we just continue with our app. So what we want to do now is create a button that connects to MetaMask. So in React, that would be a component. So connect MetaMask button. And here we say, what are we saying? I think first we are going to create the actual connection function. So this is where it gets interesting. Let's call it, connect accounts. and that will be an async function. Okay, so let's do it one way. I wanted to explain a little bit about this here. When you have, like when a user has MetaMask installed, there is an object called Ethereum on the window. So it will look like this. Provider is Ethereum. Sorry, window.ethereum. TypeScript complains here because it's not always there. So in our case, we just say, okay, TypeScript, don't yell at us. We just cast it as any, and then Ethereum will or will not exist. TypeScript doesn't care in this case, so we just make it a little bit simpler here for us. This means that provider could be null. But we have MetaMask installed, and for now we just assume that it is installed. Later on, we can look into a method that kind of handles this case where people don't have it installed, and then we can tell them, hey, please install MetaMask. Cool. So what is this provider thing? What is this Ethereum object? So it's actually something that is standardized by the Ethereum Improvements Proposals. EIP 1193 is the Ethereum Provider JavaScript API. And this is what MetaMask injects into every window object if it's there. So this is kind of the API that we can use. We don't really have to concern ourselves with this API because Ethers has a wonderful wrapper around this. This will basically just wrap this API and give you an Ethers object or an Ethers provider that exactly in the kind of way that you need, exactly in the kind of way that we before instantiated it the last time. So what we can do is import, and in Ethers 6, this is a difference. It's called browser provider. So we import browser provider from Ethers, and then maybe for clarity's sake, we just call this EIP 1193 provider. And then the actual Ethers provider will be provider equals new browser provider, and then we wrap the EIP 1193 provider. So this will be an Ethers browser provider that you can just use and connect. As I said last time, there is a slight difference between provider and signer. So later on, if we go into the transaction initialization and things like that, I will show you how to get the signer from this provider, because the provider itself doesn't function as a signer yet. It will just do the basic functionality, but it's not, it cannot sign any transaction yet. So now we have the base provider or the browser provider set, and this is kind of our MetaMask provider. And this will talk to MetaMask, really. That is installed. But it's not going to talk to it yet. So we have to kind of, you might know this functionality from other websites. When you click connect to MetaMask, then MetaMask will open up and say, hey, do you want to connect to this website? Do you want to expose your accounts to this website? And Then you have to go through this process where you have to verify or where you have to validate this kind of request. So and this exact workflow we are going to do now by just saying await provider. Actually, let's just return this provider, and then we send a request, and that is called ETH request accounts. With no parameters. And as you might notice, this is actually the part of the RPC2 protocol. And what send does is just sending out a raw JSON RPC protocol message. And here we're just sending this message. And this is kind of a it's also standardized. I don't have the JSON to RPC API. I don't have it open. Let's see. I think it's probably in the standard. If we say request. It's not. Okay, so then it's a MetaMask specific thing. If we look here, this is basically explaining the API that I just talked about. RPC API. There we go. Okay. So because we are wrapping it in ethers, we can also use its RPC API because we're directly talking to it. And this is one of the methods, ETH request accounts. And you can see it returns a string of Ethereum addresses. So, and this is basically what our function here will return, right? So we send the RPC message request accounts, and this will be returned by our connect accounts function. Okay, let's continue with the button, and we say on click, and then we do connect accounts. And then we just say connect to MetaMask button. We need to return this. And now we can say here, click the button to connect to MetaMask. And then we put the button here. Oops. Connect MetaMask button. And let's see what happens. Oh wow, it looks beautiful. Yeah, we might change that in the future, but for now, this is how it looks. Okay, let's see what it does when we click the button. It doesn't do anything. Why doesn't it do anything? Well, it's annoying. I am not sure why this is not working. We don't even get an error message. Let's log something when we press the button. As I said, my React days are quite long ago. Okay, get high. MetaMask here is, oh, I know why, because we're already connected. Sorry about that. I tested this earlier. This is what it does when you're already connected. Nothing. It just basically returns the accounts, as we will see soon. So right now, we're not connected anymore to this website, and this will then connect to the website if we do it. Connect accounts. Yeah, connect to MetaMask, and as you can see, I'm sorry, this looks a bit silly, but I didn't know how to do it really in my screen to kind of arrange the windows properly. So this is what we're dealing with. Just imagine this is the proper MetaMask message of connecting, and then we select the account that we want to connect with. We say next. We click connect, and we're connected. Now we are actually to do anything with these addresses. We actually want to see like what are these addresses now. So what we can do is print these messages to the screen. And how do we do that? In the app, I'm going to use an addresses state array. So we just call it addresses and set addresses to set it. And we say use state, and it's an empty array. And we can tell it that it is actually a string array, because then TypeScript will not yell at us. And how do we do that now? Oh my God, React. I think here are the props. Unconnected. Yeah, I think that's fine. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to do is the following. We have a function here. We call it connect, and this function does the following. It's async for one, and it accounts equals await, and then we call connect accounts from above, and then we have the accounts here, and then we call the onConnected function. I think I have to give it the proper props here, unconnected with the accounts. So because it's TypeScript, we say type onConnected equals, and this is accounts, and that's a string array, and it doesn't return. Is that the way you do it in TypeScript? Okay. And it doesn't return anything, so it just returns void. And here we give it the type. We can actually, I think we can actually define interface. And then we say connect MetaMask button props. And then we say onConnected is whatever we have here. Cool. And then we can say, okay, connect MetaMask button props, and then we say onConnected And then we have a function that we define here. Handle connection. And that would be counts is a string array. And then we do set addresses. Wow, React. That's been a while. Accounts. And then onConnected does handle connection. So TypeScript doesn't give us any problem. Nice. Click the button to connect to MetaMask. Okay. Now we can do the following. We can say, okay, if we have the addresses set, we can just say we show them. So addresses, and we do a paragraph. And in the paragraph, sorry, just a second. In the paragraph, we have an unordered list. And we close the paragraph. And in here we say, what do we say? I think this wants to have like a parentheses probably. And here we can say addresses map address, and then we give it an li with the address. Okay, this was a lot. How do we, what's this? What's this connect function? Oh yeah, onClick is connect. Oof. Okay, let's see what happens. I don't know if that was right or not. So if everything went right, then we should see the addresses when we click here. Okay, there you go. That's nice. Cool. So you can see that you can actually get the messages from MetaMask by calling the ETH request accounts message. And then you have all of the addresses in the wallet. So I imported this wallet, so there's only one. But usually when people create a new wallet in MetaMask, there's probably like, I don't know, 2 or 3 or 5 or something. Or maybe there's just one. I don't know anymore. I think it differed from time to time. So now I have in my wallet this one address. If the person has multiple addresses, then they have to connect every single address to the website, and then the website will only get the addresses that are actually they were actually verified or allowed to connect to the website. So we are successfully connected to MetaMask. That was fun. Actually, what we can do is the following. We can say addresses, and if we don't have addresses, we show the button. Let's see. Oh, I mean, okay, probably should also put this here. Blah, blah, blah. What's just another paragraph? And yes, this has to be like this. Because we only can have a single object in here. Okay, it's gone. Let's disconnect MetaMask and see whether that changed. Disconnect, refresh. Okay, we don't have anything anymore. What do we do? Oh. Oh, UI cannot be impeded. Wow, I did not know that. Well, good old div. Come on. Why is it not showing us anything? I wonder. Weird. I think I messed up the JSX somewhere. Okay, whatever. Let's not go there. It's fine. Just close it here. And we say not addresses. It's pretty stupid. What did I do? What did I do wrong? Oh, yeah, I'm very stupid. I'm sorry. Let's keep the divs. Obviously, this has to be addresses and addresses.length. Because it's always an empty array, obviously, so then it's always something there. Okay. So now we can connect to MetaMask. And the weird connection dialog opens. We connect, and we have the addresses. Beautiful, you could say. Successfully connected. Oops. Cool. Connect to MetaMask, successfully connected, yeah. You kind of have to do that every time. I guess what you can do is to do that on page load, but if it fails, no, I don't really know. I don't think there's a good way to do that. You always have to, yeah, I think the user always has to click somewhere to see to actually connect to MetaMask. I think this is the way it goes. But that's totally fine. Cool. So we have that. Let's take a look at our agenda. I forgot what I was going to do more. So we added a button. Look at the MetaMask API. I don't know if we really need to look at it a lot. I mean, we did look at it a little bit at the RPC API at least. I just think I want you to know that this exists and you can do a bunch of more stuff with it. I will later show you how to do something quite interesting, which is to add another chain to MetaMask. It's kind of in a similar way of where you can also add like a token to MetaMask. Like you click a button and then the token which is added, or you click a button and then a new chain is added. So whenever, because MetaMask by default it doesn't come with all the chains that you might need. It comes with mainnet, and that's basically it. You can also see the test networks, but what would that be? That's girly. I don't even know that one. Cool. Yeah, so you will need to add your network that you're on if you're on a different chain than Ethereum, which is quite likely at the moment. Cool. Okay. So we have the button. Now we actually want to make a transaction. And that's pretty straightforward actually, because we did it last time. And that is the cool thing about using something like Ethers. It just uses your signer, whatever it might be. May it be a wallet that comes from a private key, may it be a hardware wallet, may it be MetaMask, and it just works in exactly the same way. So what we can do now is to make a transaction, we can just look at our part 2 code and copy a bunch of stuff. Right, and then we go back to our beautiful code here. So let's create another function called mint_nft. I'm using the same account as last time, by the way, so I still have access to this NFT contract from last time, so I can just do it. Last time I just used the private key directly. Today I'm just gonna use it in MetaMask. It's kind of the same thing. I imported the private key to MetaMask, so I can use it here as well. Let's paste the stuff in that we had last time and just adjust it to our needs. So we want a signer now. Last time we had a wallet, which we don't have anymore now, because now we have MetaMask as the signer. So we can use a different method. So the provider of MetaMask, or like any provider, or like a lot of providers, I'm not sure, most of the providers have this function called get. Oh, maybe this changed. Okay, let's look at the Ethers API together. I think before it was get signer. Apparently not anymore. Let's look at the old documentation and see whether I'm right or not. Yes, you could do JSON RPC provider get signer. Apparently that's not a thing anymore. So I guess we will just see how it works now. Figure that out together. Browser provider. We have the has signer method. So maybe it is just signer. Okay. I'm doing it wrong. And because this is another function, we have to have the provider as a global. And then we can say, yeah, that's not entirely right, because it's not always a browser. It's not always a browser provider. It can be null. In the beginning, it will be null. But for our case, we'll just roll with it. And it has get signer, as I suspected. Luckily. Okay. So as long as we're not calling the mint NFT function before we connect the accounts, we're fine. But before we connect the accounts, provider doesn't exist. We're not telling TypeScript here, just to keep it simple. Otherwise, we always have to check whether it exists, and that's kind of annoying. Actually, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. It's fine. There's not much. It's not so bad. So if you say here, and if like we just say, actually, what's with the indentation here? If provider doesn't exist, we just throw a new error. I mean, we are building a proper dApp here, right? So please connect MetaMask first. The button, we won't show the button anyways, but like, I don't know, in some case, maybe people can figure it out or whatever, I don't know. Okay, so browser provider, so we need contract again from last time. This is just code from last time. So if you haven't watched that yet, just get yourself up to speed. This is basically the same code, and I explained it in detail 2 days ago. Okay, so we also need the API again. It's not here. It's just in the in this folder. So I'm just gonna move it to MetaMask unmasked, and I guess in source will be fine. And then we can just import it here for convenience. API, oops, from, and then we can say fish plethora JSON. Cool. Yeah. Here we go. So for now, this is exactly the same code. I am going to mint an NFT for myself again, but this time it's going to be number 2 because number 1 is already taken, but we're just going to use the same picture because we're lazy. And instead of console logging, I think I would like to print that on the screen. So it's going to be a lot of stage stuff now. Let's prepare yourself. We do React now. Interface mint NF. Let's put that here actually. Interface mint NFT button props, and then on minted response, and this is going to be a contract transaction response. I think, actually no, it's going to be a receipt. But here it's any. Because it doesn't know what it is. I think I think it's just a transaction receipt. If we do that, transaction receipt, there we go. And the receipt is just going to be a transaction receipt. So we just call it receipt. And it returns void. And then we do mint NFT button on minted, and then mint NFT NFT button props. Where's the error? Nowhere. Okay, const mint is, so we're just basically doing the same thing as above, just with a different function, const, and then it's the receipt is going to be await mint NFT, right? Yeah, instead of console logging it here, we just return this here. And we just don't care about the name, I guess. Cool. So we mint the NFT, we get the receipt, and then we call on minted with the receipt. Beautiful. And then we return a button on click equals mint. And we say mint and NFT. Cool. Oh, let's remove this. Now we can use our mint NFT button somewhere. Let's get another state first. Receipt. Set receipt. Use state. And this is like a transaction receipt. It's a bit weird to put that in a state, but I guess it's fine. And then we say const handle minted equals receipt, transaction receipt, set receipt. It's kind of repetitive, but this is state handling in React. Cool. Now we add a button under here. We say mint NFT button on minted equals handle minted. And let's look at our beautiful page. Where is it here? Connect to MetaMask. Now we are successfully connected. We see the button mint an NFT. And we're not printing the receipt yet, so let's do that. Receipt, if it exists, then we print it out in, I guess, a paragraph. Let's say JSON. We just stringify the JSON. It's going to be beautiful. Please bear with me here. It's not easy to make everything beautiful if you don't have a lot of time. Okay. This is not supposed to be like 3 hours or something. This is like 1.5 hours tops, and then we wrap it up, because otherwise there's too much information. So we have our beautiful connect button and connect mint NFT button. So we connect, and again, we already connected, so we don't have to go through this whole process again. But now it gets interesting, because now, like, and mind you, we're just doing the exact same thing as we did last time. We just added like a whole bunch of React stuff to it. But this is essentially exactly the same that we did last time in Node.js. So, which is really cool. That means you can reuse your code in all kinds of environments. And this is exactly what we're doing in Colony SDK, for example, that it runs in Node.js, it runs in the browser, it runs with all kinds of signers, and this is all thanks to Ethers. So let's click mint an NFT and see what happens. Nothing. Okay. Okay, please connect MetaMask first. What? That's weird. We said we wouldn't run into this. Okay, let's see where. Oh yeah, because we're only creating a local provider here. Well, good that we checked. Connect to MetaMask and mint an NFT. Oh, okay. So we, I wish I could show you the whole thing. I think I'm just gonna bloop. So, and now you can see everything that is going to happen. Actually, we are not going to sign this transaction because it is supposed to be on mainnet. This is one thing MetaMask, or this is one thing it doesn't do for you automatically. If you operate on a different chain, you will have to check whether the user's on the right chain. We can look into that together after this. I'm not necessarily sure how that works, but you have to do this manually. I can show you now how a user would add a proper chain or the proper chain to MetaMask. So you can see the transaction is definitely sent through MetaMask. It's just the wrong chain. It tells us we need to pay $1.50 for this. This is ridiculous. It's kind of cheap actually. We want a minute on Gnosis chain anyways. This will fail because the contract doesn't exist on mainnet. So it's just we will reject it. But as you can see, it's being sent. You can see the data function type. Let's see what it gives us here. I don't necessarily know what's going to come up. You can see the hex parameters address. Yes. Sending ETH. Well, it's a bit weird. Reject for now. Yeah, I think MetaMask cannot read the contract because it's on Gnosis chain. It cannot. I think MetaMask will try to go to Etherscan and see whether there's a validated contract there. If not, it will just print a bunch of stuff, like the encoded data, which is not really helpful. Okay, cool. So let's create a button. We have another button. We have so many buttons. Let's create a button to connect to the right chain. It's gonna be a bit simpler this time. Connect MetaMask. Let's do it in between. Let's say const connect Gnosis chain button. Doesn't have any params this time. Oh, come on. And here we're doing another request to the Ethers RPC API, to the MetaMask RPC API. And I'm just going to copy the code from somewhere else because there's no way I can memorize this. We're actually not using the RPC API here. We're using the actual MetaMask API. Let's look at the docs together in a bit. this is the code. I'm just pasting it in here. And don't worry, we look at it together. So, interesting. This is how I did it last time. I think it might actually, I think this is kind of the same thing. So as you can see, we're doing Ethereum request here. And then it gives us like a whole bunch of things here, like method and params. So what if, because we're doing the same thing here, we're just using the RPC API, and it's kind of, this seems to be kind of the same thing. So what if, let's try this first. Let's say, what if we're using our provider API? What if we want to use our provider API from Ethos because we know and love it? Provider.send. And then we need the method, which is this one here. And then we get the params, which is also just that. And we say, okay, we say if provider, oh, come on. Just do the same thing. Okay. Connect Gnosis chain button. Let's explore this together before we execute it. So what are we doing? We're sending wallet at Ethereum chain. So let's see. It's this method here. And here you can see, here's documented what we're about to do. We can see the parameters that we need to give it. And that is the chain ID of Gnosis chain. In this case, it's 0x64. The chain name. This is arbitrary. You can give it any name, and this will be posted into MetaMask. So it doesn't have to be like a correct name or anything. But this the native currency, that's kind of important because it gives it like the token name and decimals of the native currency of this chain, which is XDAI. So we have the name, the symbol, and name and symbol here are also, and also the decimal. Nothing here is really checked by MetaMask because it doesn't know, it cannot know. So it just has to trust the user here that they're making the right call. So whatever you put in here, it will be reflected in MetaMask. It does check the RPC URL, and it does also check the RPC URL against the chain ID that you give it. So it will kind of not work if you mess up the chain ID or have the wrong RPC URL. In this case, we're using the colony RPC URLs again. And it's also, you can also give it a block explorer URL or many block explorer URLs to use if MetaMask gives you some transactions to explore, and then you can just click them. You can also specify icons, but apparently that's not sort of thing at the moment. Cool. Let's add the button in. We put it in here and say connect Gnosis chain button. And I think I want to rename it. I want to call it add Gnosis chain button. Yes, we are not returning a button. I kind of knew that. Actually, what we're doing here is not the right thing. So this should be in a function called connect Gnosis chain or add Gnosis chain. Let's do that. Let's keep in line with our earlier things here. Cool. Return that. We don't really need to, but this will basically take care of the promise for us. Cool. And here we say return button on click add Gnosis chain. Oh wow, this is a typo. Add Gnosis chain. Add Gnosis chain to MetaMask button. Why it doesn't? Oh yeah, I did this. It's not correct. Okay. Now we have add Gnosis chain button. Okay, let's see if it works. I've never done it like this, but this would be like the Ethos way to do it with provider.send. I guess it doesn't really matter. Let's connect and add Gnosis chain to MetaMask. Oh, something's happening. Great. Oh, I put that up for you again. Oh, sorry. MetaMask asks us allow this site to add a network, and then we have all of the values that we gave it. 0x64 in hex is 100 in integer, and yeah, we have everything here that we specified. So we click approve, and it also asks us whether we want to switch it. That's cool. So we switch it immediately because we want to use it. And hopefully we are now connected to Gnosis chain. That's great. Okay. Next step, we can immediately just do our transaction again, mint an NFT. I moved that up for you. Great. And here you can see, yes, you can see here, we can verify this contract. So let's just confirm and see whether we get the receipt. And it will take time. It will take a couple of seconds to propagate and to mine. And hopefully we will see the receipt. Oh, there we go. And it's beautiful as expected. So we have all of the information from the receipt that we also had in the last video. There's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So yeah, pretty cool. We have all the information that we need. So what now? Well, we did it. We minted an NFT. Congrats to us, I guess. Let's look at our agenda really quick. Query for MetaMask accounts. We did that already. Oh, this was like all over here, all the way over here. Sign a transaction and output the results. We did that. Add custom chains. We did it before that. Cool. So we're a little bit of over an hour now. I think I want to wrap it up here. One last thing I would like to mention, something I haven't really looked into, but if there's this whole process of connecting MetaMask and adding it to your like React app. Like for example, what we did here is the provider here is just like a global object in this one file. If you want to have like a proper app with multiple files and everything, we cannot do that anymore. So we have to put it in some sort of state, like global state. And there's something called WebMe, which are basically React hooks for Ethereum. I haven't used them, but I think I do want to use them in the project that we're doing later on, because it seems like this is pretty neat. We don't have to worry about all of the stuff that we would worry about if we had a bigger app, where we have to take care of state, we have to connect to MetaMask, we have to get the Ethereum client everywhere we want it to have. So this is pretty neat. For example, we can just use account and then we have the address here, which is really nice. So it just takes care of all kinds of stuff, which is pretty cool. So I just wanted to make you aware of this, and I guess we are probably going to use it. It uses ethers as well, as you can see, so no problem there. With that being said, I don't know. Let me know if you have any questions. If not, I'll leave it at this and hope it was useful for you. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, just let me know in the comments whether you have any questions or whether I can improve anything. So happy for any feedback. If there aren't any questions, then I think that's it. Oh, the next streaming session is going to be on, wait, I put it here. It is going to be in March. I actually didn't mention that because there is ETH Denver. So if you're at ETH Denver and you're watching this before ETH Denver 2023, let me know. My contact details are all over the repository that are linked. Let me know if you are, and YouTube is going to be in the descriptions. So let me know if you're there, like either via email or Discord or whatever you have, and let's hang out. Let's have a chat. Looking forward to meeting everyone. That's basically it. Thank you and have a good 2 weeks. Until next time. Bye bye.